the, I guess, the personal significance of this game going back to Tennessee where he got injured last time?
No, I don't think he harps on it too much or anything like that. So, I think he's my best friend, but I don't talk about that at all.
You think it's even a factor for him when you go back to a place where like that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, stuff happens in this game that we play, and I mean, if someone gets hurt on the practice field, I don't think, every time they go back to the practice field it affects them. I mean, it's just part of the game, and
right.
I mean, I think a lot of people get hurt, and that's just part of it. I mean, nothing was intentional or anything like that, so I don't think it affects them.
You didn't think so? It was a low hit, out in the open field.
I mean, if I had to tackle Keith, I don't think I'd try to go high either. He'd probably make me miss.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good point.
I mean, it's a football play.
Yeah.
You've been around for a while, and you've been around for a few losses. How do you feel like teams responded, with the week of practice after this, just based on what you've seen?
I think the guys have done well. Came in Sunday even, watching film, trying to fix what we need to fix, and preparing for this weekend. Kind of forget about it, move on, learn from mistakes, and I think the guys have done a good job of that.
Is it really a situation where you guys can really forget about it, or is it just still kind of stick in the back of your mind as you're working out there and trying to push things done?
Yeah, no, I completely, it's past me. I don't harp on it or think about it at all, personally. I don't know about some of the other guys, but by the way they've worked, it seems like they have forgotten about it.
How much of an emphasis are you guys, especially the linemen, are taking, really getting after it in the run game this week against Tennessee?
I think that's every week for us. That's one of our goals. We want to be physical and get after it. Just like this week and the other week, we want to establish the run game.
I guess Coach Schottenheimer and Coach Rick had mentioned, maybe should run more inside runs against Bama and whatnot. Is that something that you guys just feel like you do a lot better, just making sure you hit between the tackles with those guys?
Whatever they dial up, we want to try to execute to the best of our ability. I guess that has one of our strengths throughout the past few years is running the ball and running it inside. And I'll see y'all later, but whatever that, we do want to run in between tackles. You ain't coming in here with me.
You deal with this all the time. How difficult is it just playing offensive line, not being able to hear well? This is a place notoriously bad for the opposing team to hear. Is that? And sometimes it takes away the advantage that the offense has because you're having to, you can't hear the snap count either, right?
It makes it fun to a certain extent, but it is a pain in the butt sometimes. On window, those 100, however many thousand people get in that stadium, they can be loud. It was loud 2 years ago when we played there. So we prepare for it, but yeah, it definitely does take away a little bit of the edge that you have as an offense, knowing the snap count and stuff like that. So we just got to make sure we communicate that much more and really focus in on it.
What have you guys been doing in practice to try to make sure that communication is completely on point for this weekend?
Yeah, we just been having a lot of loud noise. There's big speakers out there with the fan noise and doing that, and sometimes having the quarterback whisper. Sometimes, make it a little bit difficult to hear. So try to, I don't think you can emulate that many people. You can't copy that, but we try the best we can with the speakers and stuff like that.
So even with the crowd noise, the quarterback's whispering at times to make it even that much harder to hear?
Sometimes, yeah. This week, for the most part, it's when we're talking and the crowd noise isn't on here whispers. But I know in years past here we have done crowd noise and whispering to try to get used to it.
Now, what's the confidence level of the run game going into this game? I mean, you can look at the stats and see that they're not like Alabama at stopping the run, but I'm sure y'all don't view it like that they're going to be easier to run against. What's the kind of the mindset going into this game?
Yeah, not at all. We know they have some really good D linemen. I know they have a good sophomore on the edge, number 9. Some good players, some good linebackers. So we're going to have to be on our game to be able to execute. But hopefully if we execute, we can open up some holes for these running backs. And like I said, just like in the game, we want to try to run the ball going in. Especially at the offensive line, we pride ourselves on that.
Why do you think they always play you guys so close?
I don't know. I think it's a rivalry that goes back to the series is tied. It's just always an old rivalry, and the guys get ready to play. They have, I'm sure, a few bit of guys from Georgia. We have some guys from Tennessee on our roster, and it's just an SEC matchup. It always been played close, and it always will be.
Do we overblow it, or do fans get it overblown that Georgia lost to Alabama, so now this is a bigger game? you know, and I guess they're all big. Even if you'd beaten Alabama, you'd still.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the thing is with it being the East game, like you said, you know, all these SEC East games are huge, especially with how some of the other teams in the East are playing. Obviously, you got teams like Florida undefeated and stuff like that. So, anytime you play an opponent in the East, it's a huge game. Because I mean, ultimately, you want to get to Atlanta for that SEC championship game, and in order to do that, you got to beat each and every team in the East.
Well, with that being said, as far as this past week was, I guess sense of urgency might be strong, but were things intensified, or is it just the same, very comparable to past weeks, just as far as preparation, the coaching?
Yeah,
what was your sense?
I think it's just like every other week. I think so far the guys have done good every other week, giving it their all, and the coaches have, been equally as intense every week, bringing their best. So I don't think it's, amplified up as that. But we do know the importance of the game, and we are aware of that.
With the ground game having struggled against Alabama, like having had the luxury of looking through tape and stuff like that, do you feel like those are fixable mistakes, like on Georgia's part?
Yeah, there's stuff that we didn't execute on a lot of people's parts, and we're going to fix those issues. We have fixed those issues, and any game that you have, whether there's games we run for 200, 300 yards, that there's still mistakes that we got to fix. So it's just like any other game. We just got to come in and fix it and get ready for the next week.
It's supposed to rain again. What's it like playing in the rain as an offensive lineman?
Well, I think after this past week, I'll be prepared for whatever. It doesn't affect me. It might go a little more dirty. It might go a little chilly or something, but it doesn't really affect me.
What's the loudest place you played in?
Probably not. No, South Carolina and Clemson we're pretty. When people ask that question, I'll say South Carolina and Clemson were the two loudest. I never could change it Saturday though.
You never been to LSU, so you wouldn't have to.
Thank God, I've never been to LSU. I've heard.